Namaskar. In last week, or you can say in last month, I have been discussing about human nature, the most intricate issue of human life, our human nature, powered by the most sophisticated natural machine, that is brain, and very intricate network in which there are more than 10 billion cells are operating at a time. From very beginning of our childhood, we learn many things. We pass and come across so many issues, so many deliberations, and the informations are processed and that is stored in our brain. Sometimes you can subconscious mind. All the ideas, all the thoughts which are coming in our brain are not stored, are not supposed to be stored. But there are certain issues which are stored in our very innermost of our brain, that is mind, that is subconscious mind, and which operates our lives beyond our will. We don't know why do we behave. Sometimes we come across to behave with somebody in such a bizarre manner that we understand not why I have behaved or why somebody has behaved with me. Even you also behave in certain situation that you cannot explain. Why you have behaved after behaving, we just depend for that. But why you have behaved, it is very difficult to understand. But understand, and it has to be kept in mind that what you behave, that is based on the information retrieved from our subconscious mind. That subconscious mind operates lot on our issue. As I have already discussed, at a given time, there is always, we are in confrontation. There is an internal conflict between our emotions and cognition. Due to a split of these emotions and cognition, there is always a conflict. And due to this conflict, as emotional self arises, that operates our body, our behavior, our nature in very intricate manner that we do not know how it is. And that emotional self behavior is related with that subconscious mind. You can say that is their synonyms also. Apart from that, we have discussed pleasure principle. Thinking, we want to see, we think those things that gives us pleasure. Those things that give us pleasure. If a thought process is not giving us pleasure, we avoid it. And due to this, a self-image creates. A self-image is created by our taste, our opinions, our validation, with the thoughts with which we look this world. We want that all should love us. We attract the attention of others. But sometimes we find ourselves that we are alone. Nobody is with me due to certain reasons, maybe thousands of reasons. But you find sometimes that you are alone. Then in that case, the principle of pleasure thinking operates automatically. Then it is a matter of a problem of validation of our thoughts. If some thoughts comes in our mind, that should be validated. Who will validate? For validation of that thought, we create a self-image. And that self-image soothes us in the situation when we find ourselves alone, when there is nobody to appreciate. It is basic part of our body, nature, that we want appreciation. And there is nobody to appreciate. So that case becomes difficult for us to deal with. And that time our self-image operates like anything. Let's suppose somebody behaves or somebody ignores you. Then your self-image validates your thought. No, you are right. And that case you find that the self-image which is created in ourselves, that we acts like a thermostat. As a thermostat, what? If temperature is going beyond that, that cuts this if the temperature goes below this, it operates. Similarly, our self-image is such that if you are finding yourself alone, it appreciates, it validates your thought. So no need of anybody to validate, and you get satisfied. We get said, yes, I am right. So in certain situations, you find that if there is nobody to say that you are right, then our inner thought, our inner self-image gives us a validation, and that validation is very, very important. So altogether, I would like to just summarize. From tomorrow onwards, we will just discuss on role playing, how we play a role. We have seen that because of this conflict between the emotion and cognition, at a given moment we are suffering from cognitive biases. More than 184 numbers of cognitive biases have been seen out of this. The conformative bias is very important, that is coming in day-to-day life. And that conformative biases are very much part of our self-image, our emotional self, and that plays a very important role in between this internal conflict of our mind or our nature. So we have to have a good concept of self-image, emotional self. We create the emotional self inside us because of pleasure thinking principle. For validation of our thought, we create a self-image. That self-image acts like a thermostat of our nature, that is behavior. Because of time constant, I cannot continue this thing this time, but I assure that I will continue this in coming episodes. And for that time, आज के लिए इतना ही. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Thank you very much for cooperating me. You just cooperate me, and I'll put many things to you. Again, I'll give you some concept. I'll tell some stories which will give you pleasure, and that's